So for this project, I'm going to show you the process of creating a robot and using parenting techniques to animate the arms and legs of the robot. It's going to be a two-part project. I'm going to start in Zbrush to make the robot and then bring the robot into Maya to parent the parts together to create the rig, we could call it, in Maya for this robot. So the first part of this video will be just sculpting the robot, and I'm just going to go through a quick sculpting session here to show you what we can create. So I'm just going to start by going into Lightbox here, going into my project tab, and I'm just going to click on one of these Dynamesh spheres. So I'm basically going to start with a sphere, and I'm just going to push and pull. You're going to want to use Dynamesh in this process as you push and pull out parts. So I'm just going to kind of draw out different parts of this thing. I'm not really thinking too much about what it's going to be yet, but I am using Dynamesh in this situation. And one of the things I'll do is mask out arms and legs. So I'll hit Control, paint some circular masks onto this robot thing, Control click to invert it, and then use a Transpose tool to draw out a leg. So here I have the gizmo because I'm in 2018. I'm going to switch out of that by hitting Y, so I have a Transpose tool, because this tutorial is really for people prior to 2018. So basically for ZBrush 2008. So here is my move. So I'm going to stretch out that leg, and then I'll hit Q to go back into my regular edit mode or draw mode. And I'm going to do the same thing, stretch out an arm. So now I have some sort of body, and I'm just going to proceed and to see what I can come up with as an idea for this robot, whatever it's going to be. So here I'm using some planer type tools, polishing. For the feet and the arms, maybe I'll use some insert mesh brushes. Here I'll use some of these shapes. So I'll create some arms and legs and feet and hands. So just kind of having some fun with it here. What I'll do is I will mask out parts of the arms. Hit Control click to invert that, and then hit R for the rotate transpose tool, and just rotate those arms. One of the things I'll also do is flatten out the feet. So you can do this by hitting Control Shift and selecting one of these clip brushes. So I'm going to select Trim Rectangle, drag that out at the bottom of the feet, and then they're now flat. And I'm going to keep on going now with this polish brush. Maybe smooth it out in some areas. The other thing you can do is use some of the other polish type tools. So there's Flatten, that will give you some flat areas. There is this Trim Dynamic, which is pretty cool. So that'll give you more of those flat type areas. Planer is a cool brush because it just adds like lots of like quick detail, especially if I increase the resolution. So go up a subdivision level, and I get this like instant mechanical like detail, which is pretty cool. It gives me these panels. Another great brush to use is the Dam Standard brush, just to carve into it. So that's a classic brush to use for creating this type of model. So let me go in here, find that. So this is the Dam Standard brush, and it'll just let me create like these thin recesses. So maybe I can start to define like joints with this thing. Just kind of draw in these joints. And then I'll just add a couple more details, some like nuts and bolts of some sort. So I'll grab another insert mesh brush here, and let me find something that's mechanical. I got so many of these brushes. I have this Spiderbot brush, which is pretty cool, so it will give me some really cool instant panels and gears. And here I'm going to add more detail with this insert mesh brush, and it's saying you have to delete the lower subdivision level. So that's what I'll do. So I'll go into geometry, and here it says delete lower. I'm going to click that, and then once I click that, I am okay. So now I can start to add this stuff. Oh, that one's a little weird. Let me see. See what else I can find here. Here's another one. So my symmetry is off in this. So anyways, let's say this is what I want. So this is basically the first step. The next step is to break this into pieces. So you can see I already have some polygroups here when I hit Shift F. What I want to do is to have one polygroup and then break it down. So to just create one polygroup quickly, I can hit Control W, and now I have one polygroup. And now I can go in with my masking again and mask off sections to create the individual pieces. So I'm going to hit Control to bring up my masking and use this lasso to go in here and kind of define it piece by piece, and then hit Control W every time. So I'll do it for my arms. And I will do it for my maybe where the legs bend, so at the knees. And then the main body too, so I gotta get that main body. Maybe the main body has to go a little bit more into the forearms here, so I'm gonna do it again. And then once I have these groups laid out with the different body parts, I'm just going to go into my subtool menu, go into split, and say group split. Just hit OK. And then what you'll get is a whole series of parts. You can see as I click through them, I get the polygroups. So these are the parts that will be brought into Maya for the process of rigging this using parenting and then animating. So I'm going to stop here, and then I will continue with the next video.